Hello and welcome to Black Helicopter Radio. This is Ed Walker on the Antimatter Zone Network. The website is antimatternetwork.com to listen to the radio show, and then also my website is blackhelicopterradio.com, all one word, blackhelicopterradio.com, which is actually just linked through to my YouTube site right now. Eventually, it'll probably become, it'll become a site of its own, but for right now, we just have that domain name saved, and it just links through to my YouTube channel, which is Dark Ecstasy World. Just a few updates on what's been happening with Black Helicopter Radio and Antimatter Network in particular. Some things that I created, some YouTube videos I created, got picked up by some major conspiracy websites. If you're even a little bit involved researching the New World Order Illuminati conspiracy, I'm sure you're familiar with the name David Icke and Alex Jones. Okay, and my videos got picked up from davidicke.com and from prisonplanet.com, which I did not see that one coming. Yeah, it went from like a few hundred views, my Dark Ecstasy video, to like almost 10,000. So that was pretty exciting. I mean, I am just actually curious how they found it, because I mean, before they posted it, my views were very small. So, I don't know, maybe people that post on those sites are, just listeners of Jeffrey Grupp and Antimatter Radio. But anyways, that was pretty cool to see that. I mean, I did not see that one. Totally caught me off guard. But and just so you know, the videos was my video. Lady Gaga equals weapon of the Illuminati-controlled mass media, and then also my very first video I made on my YouTube channel, Dark Ecstasy World, which is simply what is Dark Ecstasy, okay? And it's actually, all it is me reading an article I wrote. The video in itself is just my voice. And they posted the actual article plus my YouTube video. I mean, that was pretty cool to see that. I actually got a comment from Johnny Keys, who does the music for Jeffrey Grupp's radio show, which is like really cool music. If you've heard that intro music, it has that really kind of relaxing, that powerful music. But anyways, he sent me a comment via Facebook saying, "Hey, you might want to check this out. David Icke posted a link to your video and your article." And yeah, sure enough. And actually, I think it was posted on Prison Planet first. But anyways, just wanted to get that out there. I mean, that's pretty cool. So maybe some of you who are listening now actually saw, the stuff on Prison Planet and davidicke.com, and were interested to see what Black Helicopter Radio and the Antimatter Network was all about. Today's topic is going to be on transhumanism. For those of you who are not familiar with transhumanism, it is an international intellectual and cultural movement supporting the use of science and technology to improve human mental and physical characteristics and capacities. The movement regards aspects of the human condition, such as disability, suffering, disease, aging, and involuntary death, as unnecessary and undesirable. Transhumanists look to biotechnologies and other emerging technologies for these purposes. Dangers as well as benefits are also of concern to the transhumanist movement. Okay, that's just a really brief summary from Wikipedia. But basically, transhumanists, they use like the term post-human. Okay, it's just a belief in basically altering humans through technology to make us more powerful, either physically and mentally. By for example, like a pacemaker helps people with heart conditions, or that would be, I guess, technically transhumanism. But basically, it's a group. There's a lot of scientists behind this movement, and they come off. I'll play a few clips of them talking, and they come off as pretty creepy and kind of like the mad scientist. But so far, you may be saying, so what? I mean, that sounds great, improving people, through the use of technology. What's wrong with that? And what I'm going to get into, I mean, this is Black Helicopter Radio. This is about, the grand conspiracy to destroy the freedom and the human spirit. And let's just say there's a much darker side to transhumanism than just from that brief summary I just read, you may not have realized. Okay, this also ties into a point that once you're awake to the New World Order, Illuminati, Grand Conspiracy, uh, it's just a huge paradigm shift. Before, when you learned about transhumanism, you may not see all the implications of how this fits in to the Grand Conspiracy. You just may take it all at face value, like, oh, these scientists say life will be so much better once we have technology that improves our lives. But once you realize that there's this really sadistic and I think ultimately satanic ruling elite behind that's controlling the path of this world, you gotta start looking at things. You'll start looking at things from a different perspective. So I'm basically going to be describing transhumanism and looking at it from that perspective. All right, so some things you may want to watch on the internet to get yourself acclimated to this idea of transhumanism is one documentary. This is from the more conspiratorial view, which I would share with the creator of this documentary, which is The Age of Transitions, which is all about transhumanism and eugenics. And yeah, that's a really impressive documentary. Just search Age of Transitions on YouTube. Let's see what else. And then there's also a documentary called Building Gods. Okay, that's a more sympathetic and less critical view of transhumanism. And then there's also Technocalypse, which would be yeah, also kind of more sympathetic. People talking about all sorts of bizarre ideas. And just one thing I want to say before I get into this. Okay, there's some very deep, philosophical implications in all of this, as far as a lot of these transhumanists think that the human consciousness can be uploaded to a computer. Okay, I'm not sure if that's true or not. I mean, I feel like it's not because as Jeffrey Grupp on Antimatter Radio states, consciousness we believe to be non-physical. I mean, when you look inside a brain, you don't see thoughts and feelings and everything. But I guess that would just be a point of difference between us and the transhumanists. I guess just think consciousness is just brain activity. So, and they believe it's if brain activity is electric, then they could somehow literally get your consciousness onto a computer. But I don't want to spend a whole lot of time debating whether consciousness is physical or non-physical. I'm just going to go with their viewpoint. I mean, they talk about the idea of actually having you live forever through like some sort of weird matrix reality through a computer, basically. I mean, these are ideas that are just absolutely, insane. But as technology evolves, who knows? I mean, the crazy stuff that we'll be seeing in the future. Because if you were to go back in time, maybe 10 years before the end of World War II, when they dropped a nuclear weapon on Hiroshima and Nagasaki, if you were to tell people 10 years before that happened that we would have bombs powerful enough to destroy whole cities, one bomb to destroy, kill thousands and thousands of people, they would be like, what are you talking about? So don't just brush, some of these things off that people are saying too easily. I'm not necessarily making predictions about the future. This is just this is theory. A lot of this is just saying what could happen, and just listening to what these transhumanists have to say, and then a lot of it is quite bizarre. Okay, so give a sort of summary of just the overall point I'm trying to make in talking about transhumanism and technology advancing at such an accelerating pace. When you have knowledge of the New World Order's hellish plan for total domination of the world, and then also the Illuminati destroying religion and destroying the human spirit, when you know about these things, okay, which I'm sure a lot of you do, and do countless shows on those topics alone, but when you're awake to that, and you start seeing technology advance at such an accelerating pace, and I mean, the world right now is already in control of the global elites who have this this hellish plan for a new world order. So when you put all that together with technology and what they're saying, you listen to what these people are saying about technology, it gets very spooky and very much like a science fiction reality. I mean, they have brain scanners that supposedly scan your brain for hostile intent. They use them at airports, or I'm not sure if they actually are using them, but I know the technology exists. Um, you have that. They have sociotech, which is actually really advanced, which claims to predict human behavior. So it's like kind of like the idea of pre-crimes. Saying that they'll be able to detect a crime before it happens. Okay, the technology is getting so massive. You look at video games. Okay, virtual reality. We're already kind of sucked into this virtual world as it is. How much time do we spend on our computers, iPods, video games? So video games are going to become, instead of virtual reality, I'm sure people are going to start, it'll be like an alternate reality. So if you listen to what the transhumanists actually have to say, they have a pretty strange view of reality and where we're headed. Okay, so they believe it's all going to be gradual, which is, you can see that in technology. Go back 10 years and computers were not nearly as fast as they are now. But, anyways, yeah, they say it'll just basically be gradual. It'll start with small enhancements, of the human body with technology. And then it'll just grow from there until eventually we'll have actual cyborgs, is what they're saying. I know a lot of this sounds crazy, but this is a transhumanist saying this. Okay, and I'm just telling you what they're saying. And they have some big funding behind them, so the government's clearly interested in this. So anyways, yeah, they say that there's going to be, like cyborgs, and then they have terms for people who reject, bodily technological enhancements. They call us Terrans, or actually Terrans, and then I also heard the term, one of them used, called terrorists. Not terrorists, but terrorists, which does sound a lot like terrorists, which is really strange. So they believe that humanity is going to get more and more integrated with technology, and to have actual literal cyborgs that are far superior to the so-called Terrans, which would be, people who reject this bizarre transhumanist world. So they think that it's going to progress along slowly but surely. We're going to start seeing more and more enhancements. They already have technology that they used on rats to apparently put like a chip inside them that replaces a part of their brain to make them just basically more intelligent. They say that they claim to be mind enhancements, and so let's just say that these things really do enhance your brain. You got to realize though, this is they're going to find ways to try to sell this, just like they're already trying to sell RFID chips to people. They'll say, oh, this will enhance your brain, but once you cross that line of altering your brain with like microchips and stuff, hey, why not go all out? Why not become just a total cyborg? And also, once you start giving another person the right to actually alter your brain with technology, who's to say that they won't start using this technology for much more nefarious purposes than just enhancing you? Why not just making you just a complete slave? This is like really huge stuff, the implications of this. And I know a lot of you are thinking this sounds bizarre, but really, just search, singularity. That's the idea of technology basically coming to the point where artificial intelligence is as intelligent as our intelligence now, but not only that, but then surpasses human intelligence. Okay, so that's a term that they love to use. Radio.com, which is actually just linked through to my YouTube site right now. Eventually, it'll probably become, it'll become a site of its own. But for right now, we just have that domain name saved. And it just links through to my YouTube channel, which is Dark Ecstasy World. Just a few updates on what's been happening with Black Helicopter Radio and Antimatter Network in particular. Some things that I created, some YouTube videos I created, got picked up by some major conspiracy websites. I am just actually curious how they found it, because before they posted it, my views were very small. So, I don't know, maybe people that post on those sites are, just listeners of Jeffrey Grupp and Antimatter Radio. But anyways, that was pretty cool to see that. I mean, I did not see that one. Totally caught me off guard. But and just so you know, the videos were was my video Lady Gaga equals weapon of the Illuminati-controlled mass media. Hello and welcome to Black Helicopter Radio. This is Ed Walker on the Antimatter Zone Network. The website is antimatternetwork.com to listen to the radio show, and then also my website is blackhelicopterradio.com, all one word, Black Helicopter. If you're even a little bit involved researching the New World Order Illuminati conspiracy, I'm sure you're familiar with the name David Icke and Alex Jones. Okay. And my videos got picked up from davidicke.com and from prisonplanet.com, which I did not see that one coming. Yeah, it went from like a few hundred views, my Dark Ecstasy video, to like almost 10,000. So that was pretty exciting. I mean,